Hello friends. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Shelly and I am the owner and creator of the Vintage Hen and Chick. And in today's video, we're going to be doing some simple and fun thrift flips. So if you enjoy trash to treasure upcycles, thrift flips, furniture flips, or crafting in general, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you get notified when I upload a new video. Now let's get started. For project 1, I have this old aluminum tray and it's in rough shape. So I'm going to give it 2 good coats of Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Caviar. Now chalk paint, the one thing that I really love about chalk paint, and especially the Dixie Belle chalk paint, it is highly pigmented and it has wonderful coverage. And so if you have a surface that is in rough shape like this tray and you want some good coverage, you want to choose a good chalk paint, and Dixie Belle is a great choice because you don't have to prep the surface necessarily. The chalk paint is going to give you good coverage and it's going to cover up a lot of the imperfections. And this color in the Caviar, like I said, has really good pigmentation. So 1 coat might be good enough, but I'm going to do 2 coats just to make sure I have good coverage and all the imperfections are taken care of. So I've given the tray 2 good coats of paint, and now I'm going to be putting a transfer on it. So I'm going to seal just the surface before I put the transfer on, just to make sure that my transfer goes on good. And for this, I am using the Dixie Belle flat top coat just on the surface of the tray to make sure that my transfer goes on without peeling up any of the paint. So I'll give it 1 coat of the flat top coat and let it dry before I apply the transfer. So the flat top coat is dry, and now I'm going to apply my transfer. And the transfer that I chose is the Dixie Belle Timeless Petals. And I just love how the color of the red and the flowers looks against this black background of the tray. So this is a big transfer. It comes in 2 pieces. So I'm going to start with one side, lay the transfer down, and use my transfer stick to rub over the transfer. Once I have that done, I'm going to start lifting up the corner of the transfer, and the transfer then will be adhered to the tray. So I'm going to continue to rub the transfer stick and lift up the transfer vellum slowly as I go, working from one side to the other until I get this piece of the transfer adhered to the tray. And one of the reasons that I decided to clear coat the tray surface first before I applied the transfer is because I was concerned that maybe the transfer would peel up some of the paint. But as you can see, it didn't. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply the other side of the transfer, and here it is with the whole transfer applied to the tray. The next step for this is you want to seal this completely, the whole tray and the transfer. And for this, I am using Dixie Belle Gloss Top Coat. I want to give a little bit of a sheen to this tray, so I'm going to take the gloss top coat and I'm going to seal the whole entire tray, the top, the sides, the bottom, and the handles. For project 2, I have this wooden ladder. It hangs on a wall and it has a towel rack on the bottom, and then the ladder rungs can be used as little shelves for putting knickknacks. And I loved the color of the wood on this ladder, so I knew right away that I didn't want to paint it, but I did want to embellish it with some transfers. So I have some scraps left over from my Dixie Belle Timeless Petals transfer set, and I cut out a bunch of the flower scraps that I wanted to use for this ladder. So I have some scraps here, and I'm just going to start applying them randomly on the ladder. I want to apply them on the inside of the ladder and then maybe on the front of the rungs. So I'm going to do that, just apply them where I think they're going to look good on each side. So for the transfer, you take it and you lay it down, and then you take your transfer stick and then you rub over the transfer to get it adhered to your surface. And then once you have that done, then I'm going to gently peel up the corner of the transfer vellum while I'm rubbing with the transfer stick. And I know it's a little bit hard to see here with the ladder. It was hard to get a good angle to show you, but you can see here that I'm gently lifting up the vellum as I'm rubbing with the stick, and the transfer is adhering to the ladder. And then once I have that transfer on, I'm going to take my fingers and then the transfer vellum and burnish that transfer into the ladder to make sure it's attached really well and that there's no bubbles or wrinkles in the transfer. So I'm going to continue on the inside of both sides of the ladder, applying my transfers in whatever order that I choose or decide looks good. So right now I'm just kind of placing things where I want them, adding things here and there until I get the look that I want. So I'll continue to add the transfers to the ladder, and then we'll come back and show you what it looks like. So I have all my transfers added to the ladder, and you do want to seal in your transfers. And I also wanted to give this ladder a good top coat of something just to really highlight the beauty of the wood. So I am using Dixie Belle's Best Dang Wax in the color clear. I thought that would be a good choice for this wood to really highlight the beauty of the golden color of the wood. So I am taking a chip brush and I am getting it loaded up good with the wax. And as you can see here, the wax, even though it's clear, it does apply as a white. But once the wax sits for a little bit and starts to cure, and after it's buffed off, then you're going to get that nice clear finish of the wax. So I'm going to take my clear wax and I'm going to use my chip brush and I'm going to apply it over the entire ladder, the surfaces that don't have transfers on and the surfaces that do. So I'm going to do that, and then once I have it completely waxed, I'm going to set it aside for about 10 minutes to let that wax kind of sink into the wood, and then I'm going to buff away the excess wax, and it's going to create this beautiful shine and surface. So I've applied the clear wax to the entire ladder. I set it aside for about 10 minutes just to let that clear wax permeate really good into the wood. And now I'm taking a shop towel and buffing out the excess wax on the entire ladder. So I'll continue to do that until I have the wax all buffed into the wood. And you can see as I'm buffing, it's really starting to bring out the beauty of that natural wood, and it's also sealing in my transfers. So I'm going to continue to do this until the whole ladder is buffed out and the wax is all permeated into the wood. I love how that clear wax brought out the beauty of that wood. So I'm just taking a microfiber cloth and kind of going over everything again. And I'm also taking a small chip brush here and getting out the excess wax that settled into the screw tops on the ladder. So I'll continue to do that using the brush to get the excess wax off and the microfiber cloth to give it one last buff and really highlight the beauty of this ladder. For my third and final project, I have this enamelware coffee pot. And one of my favorite things to do with enamelware is to add transfers to it. And so for this coffee pot, I chose a couple of scrap transfer pieces that I had laying around. The writing scrap is from the IOD Brocante transfer set, and the flower that I'm going to use is from the IOD Floral Anthology transfer set. So I've cut out my pieces of transfer. I'm just kind of placing them where I want on the coffee pot, and then I'm going to apply the transfer. So I'm going to peel off the back of the transfer, and with enamelware, once you put your transfer down, there's no going back. So you have to make sure that you put it exactly where you want because once it's down, it sticks really well. So I'm going to take my transfer tool and rub it over the transfer, getting it nice and adhered to that enamelware. And then I'm going to start at the corner of the transfer and lifting up the corner piece of the vellum and rubbing as I slowly lift up the transfer vellum. And then you'll see that the transfer is adhered to the coffee pot. So I'm going to continue to do this. And once I have that piece on, then I'm going to burnish that transfer piece in, taking my fingers, rubbing it over the transfer, and then using the back of the transfer sheet and burnishing it into the coffee pot, just making sure that there's no bubbles or wrinkles in the transfer. And then I'm going to continue on with my flower that I picked out from the IOD Floral Anthology transfer set, using the transfer stick again, rubbing it over the transfer, and then lifting up the corner of the transfer as I rub with the stick and peel it back, and then the transfer will be attached. And typically you do want to seal your transfers in, but because this is going to be a decor piece and it's not going to be actually used, and the enamelware really grabs onto that transfer, I'm not going to seal this in because I want the look of the coffee pot and I don't necessarily want to put a top coat on this. So I'm going to add my last piece of transfer here, and then this coffee pot will be done. Okay, what did you guys think? Let me know your favorite project in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button and setting the notification bell to all. And that way you'll get updated every time I upload a video. And I want to thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.